Alright, so today I'm going to be working on installing the vent. I have a MaxxFan Pro. We actually have to cut into the van today, so yeah. So here we go. So what I have done thus far to prepare is I made this paper cutout as my stencil for where I'm going to be marking and then starting to puncture and cut the van. And then also I brought the actual kind of cover holder down to make sure that it actually does fit into the compartment that I've got planned for it. So I put this up on the space that I'm going to be using, and you can see I've already traced around it. And the reason that I brought the actual piece down here is because there are these little lips that I was concerned about it fitting into successfully. I put it up there and it was nice and snug, so I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be a successful venture. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna make drill holes in these spots here that I've marked as indicators up once I'm actually on the roof cutting where to start and stop. So here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do a practice hole in the center first. You did it. That was scary. Success. Okay. Lovely. Looks good. It's time to cut. Okay, so as you're cutting it, tape the parts that you've already cut to try to help it from vibrating as much as it does when you're cutting it. There she be. Okay, now I'm gonna file the edges to make it nice and clean. Okay, now I'm gonna spray paint, prime it again to make sure that there's no exposed metal that's not painted, just to kind of give it an extra protection from rust. Putty tape going around the edges to seal it. We did a second layer on this like little lower lip right here. I have no idea what this stuff is called. The guy at the RV place called it putty tape, but I'd say that it sealed it up pretty good. We put a little caulk around the edge. Now we're going in. Make sure their metal rings are on the sides. She gonna be tight. We're gonna pre-drill the hole just to kind of give it a head start, just because we're not sure how accurate this is gonna be with it just kind of loose and goose over there. So come on, let's just shoot. Oh shit, that's hot. Got them all screwed in. I'm gonna seal it up with the C10 water sealed. This is the only part that could go bad.
How?
That falls in. The hell?
Doesn't seem right.
Is there anything on the interior that's getting caught up? The like connecting holes right here are not gonna line up at all. Like we've been playing with it for a long time. So I'm just gonna leave it on like this and then try again tomorrow. But this is a fail. Okay, so it's day 2 of working on the van, or on the fan, and we couldn't get the latch points to like line up from the actual unit itself and then the cover that attaches to the van. So what I just did that kind of worked is like I was able to get like a small hole, and then I used one of these impact drivers and I kind of pried it down. I can get the front ones down, and I think what I'm going to do first is try to screw those in and then try to get a small opening on the back. And so here we go. Success, success, success. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Sweaty. We got it done. I did some of the sealant along the edges of where it connects and then over the screw holes, but we finally got it in there successfully, and it only took 2 days to do, which should only take 1. But we're pleased. Satisfying. Okay, so that was way harder than it was supposed to be. Should only take like a few hours on 1 day. Took a lot of hours on 2 days. So I had a lot of trouble putting the unit all the way in the fixture that you attach to your van. The things that I used was just this little impact driver. This is the smallest one I could find. And once I put enough pressure on the unit and it allowed me to see the hole, I would slide that in there and then kind of crank it down. And then the last one was nearly impossible. I used this tapping block to try to give it as much pressure across the whole unit, and then finally was able to slide this in there. So it seems like everyone has no problems. It's just putting the unit in there perfectly, but if you do, then these are potentially your solutions. I'm super happy that I finally got it, but yeah. Oh wow, look at that, y'all. The finished look. The finished look. Looks good.